Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on this look right here, and I feel like it's been forever since I got to sit down and talk to you guys. I was out of town all week last week. Then when I came home, this was waiting for me. This is Champagne Pop from Becca Cosmetics, and this is the one that Jaclyn Hill came up with. It's the same formula as all their other highlighters, so it's super buttery and smooth, but it's this really beautiful kind of pale gold color. I feel like this is going to be flattering on everyone, so I wanted to sit down and do a tutorial with it, and I figured if I'm using her highlighter, might as well use her eyeshadow palette. So I'm using the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette from Morphe on my eyes, and I know that was limited edition, but you can also get those as singles on their site, so I will have all the shadows listed in the description box below. So I just did like a really warm eye with some lashes and super glowy skin, and the lip that I've been rocking nonstop. This is the one that I was wearing in my hair tutorial, and I had a lot of questions what I was wearing on my lips. So if you'd like to see how I got this full look, then go ahead and keep on watching. When doing a blown out look like this, I love to layer my eyeshadows. So I'm first going in with this taupe shade and a big fluffy brush. I'm just applying this to the crease in big circular motions. This is basically just going to be a base so that the other colors that we apply in just a minute will blend out really seamlessly. So to start building some depth, I am mixing these two shades. They're both medium browns, but one has a little bit more orange in it. It's a lot like Texture from MAC. I'm using a Sigma E35 brush, and I'm taking this right into that crease to give me a little bit more definition. And I am kind of blending these colors a little bit lower onto my lid, and that's totally fine. It's just going to give us a lot of dimension. Next, using that same brush, I picked up this dark chocolate shade. It's almost like a maroon. It has a lot of red in it, and I'm applying that the same way, just going straight into that crease and then blending it down a little bit onto the lid. And this is really going to help us give a lot of definition, and this is what's going to make the eyes look really nice and smoky. This is one of my favorite shades out of the whole palette. Then of course, just go back in with that fluffy brush that you started out with and blend out any harsh lines. For the lid, I'm using this beautiful bronze shade, and I'm using a Morphe E14 brush and just packing that all over the lid. And you can see how layering on those matte eyeshadows before just helps to give a lot of dimension to the eyes. Then I'm using some NYC Black Liquid Liner and just doing a nice wing, and then prepping my eyelashes for Falsies. The lashes that I'm using are the Grande Glamour lashes from Eylure and Vegas Nay. I just cannot get enough of these. They are so fluffy and gorgeous, but they are a little bit more dramatic, so I went in with a little bit more of that chocolatey burgundy shade and just gave myself a little bit more definition in that crease. Moving on to my skin, I've already applied my foundation, so now it's onto the under eyes, and I'm using my Maybelline Age Rewind in the shade Brightener, of course, just concentrating that where my dark circles are at their worst. Then I'm going over that with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Vanilla. And I also took a little bit on my chin, the center of my nose, and also the center of my forehead to do a little bit of highlighting. Then just blend all of that out with a damp beauty blender. I will never get sick of blending out my concealer with a damp beauty blender. It just blends everything out so nicely, and I feel like it is really great, especially if you have dry skin like me. My under eyes don't look as dry whenever I use a damp beauty blender. I almost forgot to set my under eyes, so I'm using Lyric from my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I hit pan on both of the highlighters. It is so depressing, but it's onto the lower lash line, and I am lining my eyes with a Mr. Right Now liner from The Balm, and I'm using the shade Brown because black can look a little bit harsh. And then I'm blending that out with that chocolatey red shade with a flat definer brush from Sigma, and then I also go in with that orangey shade and a pencil brush to blend that out even further and make sure that it looks nice and smoky. Now, of course, add some mascara to those bottom lashes, and I do this off camera because I have to be like centimeters away from my mirror. And then I am using this beautiful shade. This is so similar to Shroom from MAC, and I'm highlighting my inner corners, and I also take this on the arch of my eyebrow, concentrating right where my arch is, and then blending that down for a beautiful brow bone highlight. To warm up my skin, I'm using the Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light and my favorite bronzing brush of life. This is the Morphe E2 brush, and I am just bronzing my skin. I'm not doing contouring with this, just going around the perimeter of my face and giving it a lot of warmth. To contour, I'm using a good old Benefit Hoola. I feel like I haven't used this in so long, and I just love it. So I'm using my contour brush from Real Techniques and really giving myself some definition in my cheekbones, and then I also take just whatever is left on the brush and go around the sides of my chin to make it look a little bit more defined. And then I go in and contour my nose really lightly, just going down the sides of my nose and a little bit on the tip to make it look a little bit slimmer. For my blush, I'm using Becca Cosmetics Songbird, and this blush is beautiful. One of my favorite blushes, hands down. It is super, super pigmented and just so gorgeous. And I'm using my Morphe E4 brush for this. Best blush brush ever. I'm just applying this to the apples of my cheeks and then blending that back. For highlight, of course, I'm using Champagne Pop. It is so beautiful, you guys. If you do not have it already, run to Sephora because you need it. I'm applying it to the highest points of my cheeks. I'm also doing right above the arch of my eyebrows. And then I also take this a little bit on the tip of my nose and a bit right between my eyebrows and a little bit on my chin and then a little bit in the center of my forehead. What can I say? I love this highlighter. I seriously want to put it everywhere. And then it is onto lips, and I am just lining them with this Rimmel Natural Lip Liner. I love this lip liner. It just is the perfect everyday lip liner. And then I'm going to be filling them in with Madison Avenue Gloss. I've been doing this lip combo almost every single day and I just love it. So once you get that on, your look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!